Hi, it's Liza Kindred from Eff This meditation. Today we're going to do a gratitude practice. And for our practice today, you can begin in whatever posture feels right for you. If you are sitting up on your meditation cushion or in a chair or on a couch, just try to make sure that you're not leaning back, that you're holding yourself as upright as possible while still being as comfortable as you can. It is also totally fine to do this practice laying down if that's what you feel like you need today. Whatever posture you're choosing, let's start by spending just a moment getting as comfortable as possible. Really settling into our seat if we're sitting, or settling into the couch or the bed if we're lying down. And just taking a couple of deep breaths before we start with the practice, and just breathing and letting go anything that you can let go for our next little bit together. And after you've taken a few deep breaths, let's go ahead and close our eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Still breathing deeply, closing our eyes and just noticing what we're bringing to the practice today. Noticing if there's any physical sensations or emotions, any kind of feelings that we have with us today. Doesn't matter if they're good or bad. We're not judging. We're just noticing. And as we start the practice, start to notice where your breath is. Notice where it's calling your attention. It might be your mouth, your nose, your chest, or your belly. Any one of those places, or any place at all, is fine. Just noticing your breath. Letting it be now as natural as possible, as deep or shallow as it wants to be. And let's spend just a moment focusing on that physical sensation of our breath. If our mind wanders or our attention is drawn elsewhere, that's totally cool. We just notice that. And with gentleness, bring our focused attention back to our breath. Letting whatever happens, happen, and just focusing again and again with gentleness and kindness, focusing on our breath. Letting ourselves feel however we feel. Noticing our breath doing whatever it wants to do. Just letting it be. Now I'd like to invite you to bring to your mind something that you feel grateful for. It can be anything at all. It can be the tiniest little thing. It could be that you're not feeling a whole lot of gratitude at all. You might be feeling a lot of difficult emotions, but just finding one thing. It could be you're feeling very grateful already and there's a lot of things, but just pick whatever the first thing is that comes to your mind. One thing, any one thing that you feel grateful for, thankful for right now in this moment. Knowing it will change over time. Every time you do this practice, it will be different. But just finding one thing, bringing that to the front of your mind. And if you find your mind scrambling a little to choose one or find one, whatever the first thing is, let's grab onto that with our minds and hold it. Hold it with firmness, but gently, focusing in on that one thing. And as we're focusing in on that thing that we're grateful for, notice how that feels in your body. Notice how thinking about that thing, bringing it to your attention, how it feels physically. You might notice something happening in your chest or your belly, maybe your shoulders or your jaw, your face, anywhere, any feeling. Notice that and stay with that feeling. Notice the characteristics of that physical sensation when you bring the thing you're grateful for to your mind. Notice if it has a location, a texture, a temperature, if it's smooth or ragged. Anything you notice. And let's gently focus in on that even more, on that feeling in your body. And as we're continuing to breathe, seeing if that feeling wants to spread. It might or it might not. Seeing if there's any spaciousness around that feeling. Breathing into that space. Bringing our mind back with gentleness if it wanders. Feeling that feeling. And if we start to lose touch with the physical sensation, bringing again that thing we're grateful for to our mind, back into our focus. And paying attention to the physical sensation again. It might change, it might stay the same, it might move. Or just noticing and feeling the feeling. And letting it expand. We're breathing, we're noticing, and we're allowing any expansion that wants to take place to happen. I invite you, if it feels like something you want to try, to bring one or both of your hands to your heart center, just resting them gently on your chest. If it feels right. If not, that's fine. Just keep noticing the feeling. And breathing into that heart space. Seeing if you can feel that feeling there. And as we have our attention to the feeling of our heart space, let your mind wander a little bit and see if there's anything else that you feel gratitude for. It's okay if there's not. It's okay if there is. Just noticing, are there other things in your life that you feel this feeling for? Our mind is engaged. Our body is engaged. Our emotions and energy are engaged in this simple but powerful feeling of gratitude. We're here together right now, feeling grateful. We know that might change, but right now we're here. Notice if that energy is wanting to expand even further, maybe outside of your body and into the room around you. Maybe it wants to stay close today, or maybe it wants to travel out into the world. Letting that energy travel as far, stay as near as it wants to today. And still with that open expansion, we're moving towards the end of our gratitude practice today. Our eyes are still closed and that energy is still here with us. But let's go ahead and maybe wiggle our fingers or our toes a little bit and start to move our bodies a little, however they want to move. And start to notice any sounds in the room around us. And allowing the rest of the world to start to gently penetrate our awareness without fighting them. Just expanding that awareness to include what's going on around you. And when you feel ready, when it feels right for you, go ahead and open your eyes. Let in the visual space around you. While still holding your spot, just looking around and seeing what there is to see without judgment. Taking a few deep breaths. Whatever way feels good. Maybe moving around a little bit more. And at the end of our practice together today, I want to invite you to be open to the possibility that some of these feelings of gratitude that you've tapped into today can travel with you out through the rest of your day or your evening, wherever you're at. And you can take them with you when you close the video down, or even if you keep meditating after this, staying with the practice, whatever you're choosing to do, holding on to these feelings and taking them with you, and knowing that they are available to you to tap back into at any time. They live within you, not me. You created them with your own gratitude practice today, and you can tap into them when you feel like that's something that you want to do. You can also, if it's interesting to you, you could write a few things down that you thought about today. I have, this is my own personal gratitude journal that I keep next to my bed, and most nights, not all nights, but most nights before I go to sleep, I jot down a list of the things that I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's difficult, just like this practice. As you continue to do this practice over time, if you choose to, you will probably notice that some days it's easier to tap into that feeling. Sometimes it's more difficult. The same thing is true with making a gratitude list, which, by the way, doesn't have to be in a beautiful journal. It can be on a scrap of paper. I do that too. It is really just about the practice and tapping into that feeling of gratitude, which is incredibly powerful. I want to leave you today with a quote by the poet and leader, Dr. Maya Angelou. She wrote, "Let gratitude be the pillow upon which you kneel to say your nightly prayer." Whether you literally pray at night or not, or whether you are interested in developing an occasional practice of gratitude, cultivating these feelings in yourself can be a very, very, very powerful practice for tapping into that goodness that exists within you. So I'm grateful that you were here today practicing with me, and I hope to be a part of your practice again soon. Thank you for your time and dedication today.